Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be starting the final module of this course with you, in which you'll be building your own master's program e-portfolio. As you can see in the Week 10 course materials, I provided a little bit of background and context so you can understand where we were and where we are now. I'm not going to read this here because you can do that on your own, but essentially what happened was that in July of 2020, there wasn't quite enough going on in the world, so we decided what we would do is put together an entire program redesign and redevelopment for the master's program e-portfolio. Great timing, right? Right. Anyway, it was well worth it, and here we are now with a new program. So I give you a little bit of background and context here so you can understand the rationale behind this. And as you can see where it says step one, what I went ahead and did is I took the proposal that I put together for the new ePortfolio program. I actually am the ePortfolio developer. So if you have any feedback, please reach out to me and let me know as we continue to work for the next 3 weeks. But I took the proposal that I submitted with the idea that we as faculty had for a new program, the ideal new program, and I distilled it and put it into PowerPoint slides. I didn't compromise any of the integrity. Everything that I put in the proposal is still there. I really wanted to maintain that as it was so you can see how I framed things, how I grouped ideas, what kind of research that I used to support it, the kind of logic that I used, etc. So I've gone ahead and provided these in a PDF and in a PowerPoint format, depending on which you prefer will work better for you. And I have highlighted here in yellow that it's very important that you don't skip ahead to the next steps before looking at this. So I ask that you respect that and do it. It's for a reason. Once you read the proposal, these kind of these sections build on each other logically. So once you've done that, I'm going to ask you to check out the new master's degree EP template that I put together as well. And I'd love to hear your feedback on that. The one that I've provided here is actually a static template, meaning it's not editable. You will be getting an editable template or choosing one on your own, but more on that in a minute. This is just the static template for you to look at and see, what the template looks like. You will then go ahead and be creating an account in Wix. I have tutorials here for you. Once you get in there, you'll see how intuitive it is and how user-friendly it is. So there's some more details on that here. But finally, the biggest thing you're going to want to do this week is decide what you want to do. As I've talked about in prior modules, I really like to offer you choice. I find that by investing yourself more in the choices that you make and creating your own path for your own unique educational experience sort of gives you a little bit more feeling of ownership and empowerment in your own journey. So in keeping with that philosophy, I've provided choice again this time, and this is a big one. So once you look at the template, I want you to decide whether you want to use the template that I've already built, or you can choose another template of your choice. You can even build one from scratch. If any of you are learning experience design or ELID concentration focused or have experience in that or really just want to experiment with that, you can use any template you want. The caveat to that, though, is that everything that's found in the template I created, in the NEU MED template, must be easily found in your website. And here are the sections that you're going to want to make sure are there. And when you look at the template I created, you'll see that they're all there. The home section, about me, professional profile, on and on. You're going to make sure it has the subsections. You don't have to, if you do your own template and you create it using the Wix editor or whatever you do, you don't need to necessarily put the template text in there as much as you'd want to put the headings for now, and then you can fill it in later. But my point is that no matter how it looks, no matter how it feels, that's totally up to you. But these essential core elements need to still be there and be very easily accessible, easily found and located, right? Beyond that, you can add anything else you want. I have students adding sections with photography, or they want to house ideas. They have a note section for ideas that they have about projects or whatever they want to do. What you add is totally up to you as long as you have these fundamental sections. The last step, I've gone ahead and provided a nice article for you regarding essential graphic design tips. You don't have to go over this in earnest this week. It's just an opportunity for you to take a first glance at it. You'll be diving into that fully starting next week. So moving ahead to your assignment and discussion, much of this week, the vast majority of this week, in fact, should be spent just becoming familiar with and comfortable with Wix. Once you've reviewed the template and you've looked at the tutorials, Even if you've decided you want to use the Wix template, the MED Wix template, I suggest choosing another one just to use as your sandbox, right? You can play around in there. That's where you can mess around and try new things without worrying about messing something, which you can't. There's a back button. You can't permanently mess things up. But I think it's important to have a sandbox site where you can just sort of play around and try out the tools. That's how I learn best, is just by doing and making mistakes and fixing them. And then if I run into a specific struggle that I'm having, I might Google a tutorial to help me with that specific struggle, etc. So I recommend creating that sandbox site. This is the timeline that we're going to look at this week. So once you think about your purpose and think about your audience, and you think about, given that, what's the look and feel you're going for, and you choose a template, right? It's not going to matter if you choose a new one or you choose the MED one. On Tuesday, I'm going to be cloning copies of the MED template, and I'm going to clone one for every single one of you. Also on Tuesday, I am going to be sending individual emails to your Northeastern student accounts inviting you to take ownership of your individual website copy. Even if you think you're going to choose another template, every one of you must accept ownership of this website copy by Thursday. That invitation does expire. So by Thursday afternoon, evening at the latest, I believe there's 48 or 72 hours something, but by Thursday, and I can see it on my end in my Wix account if you've accepted it or not, you absolutely must accept the invitation that I send you. So be checking between Tuesday and Thursday, be checking your email to see that invitation, and then you can just accept it. And you can name it whatever you like, as long as it's recognizable, what it is. And then that becomes your URL for that website. You do not need to purchase a domain name. Some students elect to do this later. I don't recommend it, because when you get to the capstone, you're going to be doing your professional portfolio. So for now, you can just use, whatever Wix generates for you for a URL. All right, so again, on Tuesday, watch for that email and then accept the invitation by Thursday. I'm pretty clear here what I'm asking for. So by Thursday, I have some questions and some things from the proposal I put together that I want to ask you about, see what you think of the process, how you might use the things that you're learning with this in your own life, in your own work and personal life, etc. And then we're following a typical Thursday, Sunday schedule where you're just engaging with your classmates generally on some of these topics. This week is the time for you to really get comfortable with Wix and figure out its functionality. And so you're not intimidated when next week you start really fully building out all the sections, replacing your images, doing all that stuff, right? So make sure you spend a good amount of time within Wix in your sandbox site, just trying things out and maybe looking at tutorials and becoming at least beginner level proficient in the basic nuts and bolts of using the website. Do not be intimidated. It's actually a lot of fun and it can become really addictive. There are plenty of tutorials out there to help you. You can always reach out to me. I'm happy to help you. So you can post any questions in the forum in Canvas or email me anytime. I'm really looking forward to seeing what we do with this exciting final project. Take care.